Okay, in this video, I'm going to simply show you how to use tabs or tablature music. Now, there are some people who play music, they can't understand why you have to read that tablature. Why don't you just read it like it is? Sheet music, you ain't got to change all that there. Sheet music is designed for any instrument. It doesn't matter if it's a piano, if it's keyboard, if it's fiddle, mandolin, guitar. Sheet music works for all instruments because they tell you what note to play, and the speed, the tempo, the timing, everything's right here. As you can see right up here, this is going to be my sheet music right here. It's going to, people are going to look at the old phrase go shape notes, whether it be quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, dotted, whatever it might be. But the bottom down here, you see this big bottom down here, is going to be tab. Now, we're going to show you how you can relate tab to regular sheet music. And then once you understand how the concept of how it works, then you'll be able to read tab and say, okay, I'm playing this E note, or I'm playing this D note, or I'm playing whatever note it is. I'm going to hold it for this length of time, and I'm going to play it this certain tempo and timing because you understand how it works along with sheet music. That's the biggest thing. And understanding how it works with sheet music, by doing it this way, you can also take any sheet music and transpose it to tab and be able to play it. Now, what does tablature mean exactly? That means whatever instrument I'm playing, I got to have each string represented by a line. As you can see here, I've got 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those 6 lines represent the strings on the guitar. That's all it means. The bottom line down here represents my lowest note on the guitar, or the low E. The highest up here is a high E. The bottom part of the guitar, the bottom string on the guitar, is the highest note. So it goes from the lowest, the low E up on top, down to the very bottom string, or the first string. The first string is the very bottom one because you're counting upward. The very first string is a high E. So let me show you where these particular notes are located at and why. So we're going to put a 0 right here. Now this 0 shows me this note's right here. As you can see right here, that's where my note's at, right there. Now that means that's a low E. That's lower than the treble clef. That's actually down in the bass clef range. So if we had treble clef and bass clef put together, this will be down in the bass clef range because that one line, the first line here, is a middle C. Then these lines here are in the bass clef range. When you play that bottom E on the guitar, you're actually playing in the bass clef range. Although, because they're trying to gear the guitar mostly towards the treble clef, there are going to be some exceptions. Some notes will be hitting in the bass clef range, and this E is one of them. Okay, so the next open string is this fifth one here. It's going to be an A. And you can see here. Now, we're going to make all these quarter notes, okay? You see how they're all quarter notes. We're going to make them all quarter notes just to show you. Keep them all same value. So it's E, A. Now, the next one here is D. So you can see where my D's at right here. Then a G, right there. Then a B, and then another E. So that particular, all them zeros represents I'm playing that string open. No frets, no left-hand finger, and just playing the string open like it is. That shows me where them notes are located at on the regular treble and bass clef range. If you notice, these two here are in the bass clef range. Now let's go back and see what they look like if we added other numbers to it. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is start with this E. This is my lowest E, open. Now what if we put our finger on the first fret of that E string, the first fret? So we're going to put a 1 there. Okay, that would mean that will go from E to F. Because there's not a half step between E and F. It just goes straight from E to F. That's the step itself. There's no half step between E to F, and there's no half step between B and C. So when you go play a B, the next note higher would be a C. Not a B sharp, not a C flat, B, C. So when you look at the keyboard, you'll see that there's no black keys between E and F and the B and C. So what if we play a 2 here? We're working 1, 2. Now if you notice, it's got a sharp symbol here. See right there. You see my sharp symbol right there. I mean, that's an F sharp. So then we got 3. That's going to be a G note. We'll go 4. That's a G sharp. and we go 5. Now we're going to stop right there for a moment, and I'll tell you why. Let's go to the next string. We're going to use 5 as a magical stopping point for this, so that you can understand how these work in reference to each other. So when they say relative tuning, that means I want each string, when I push a certain fret on the guitar, to sound like the next one down. So let's look at the 5th fret here on the 6th string. It's going to be the same exact note as the next string down, open. You can see these 2 notes here are exactly the same. Okay, so if we start from there, we can see it's the same exact note. So I'm just going to put it here because it's the same exact note. Take this one off for now because these 2 are the same exact note. You see how they're doubled up right here. So if I was to play both the 5th string on the 5th fret on the 6th string and the 5th string open, I'm getting the same exact note twice. Okay, so you want to double up right there. So now they're going 1. Okay, now that's going to be a B flat or an A sharp. 2. That's going to be a B natural. Then 3, 4, and watch this here, 5 again. We're going to stop right there too. That's going to be the next one up here. That's going to be the same note as this one. Watch and see. See, both of them are huddled together because that's both the same exact note. So whether you play it the 5th string on the 5th fret or the 4th string open, you're playing the exact same note. We're going to do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and watch this one more time. It'll be the same thing here. It's going to be open right here. Watch the same exact note right there. And this is going to be a little different. This one will be on the 4th. This one's going to be on the next one's going to be on the 4th. Watch and see. So we got 1, 2, 3. And we're going to stop here at 4. Okay. Now this next one will be up here. 0. That's going to be the same exact note. Those will be the same exact note. You can see them doubled together here. That's my B note. Then C. C sharp. D. D sharp. And E. And again, this is going to be out here. So these are the notes, particular notes on the guitar, going from the 1st to 5th fret and how they relate to the next string down at the 5th fret or 4th fret. So here, the 6th string at the 5th fret sounds the same as the 5th string open. The 5th string at the 5th fret sounds like the 4th string open. 4th string at the 5th fret sounds like a 3rd string open. The 3rd string at the 4th fret sounds like the 2nd string open. And the 2nd string at the 5th fret sounds like the 1st string open. But you can see how they just walks that out on up there. So if I want to take all this off, see if I can do this or not. One at a time, I think. What I gotta do, one at a time. Now, how does this work on music? Okay, right now I don't have any key signatures up there, so we're going to assume because there's no key signatures, it's going to be in a key of C. But most time in banjo music, you play in the key of G. So let's change the key signature up here. Right here. You can see it pop up. Well, maybe you can't. Let's pick a G major chord. Now you'll see my G sharp right here. Okay. Now we're going to say 4/4 time, and we could change that timing to whatever we want. We went 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. You don't see the pop up, that's okay. And we can say, we can also look, well, if I wanted to pull up a file and say Amazing Grace. Okay, this is a banjo version of it. I could tell because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So the 5 lines represent the 5 strings on the banjo. And then we're going to show each individual note as we go along. 4th string open, 2nd string, 4th string, 2nd fret. Slide between the 4 and 5. Okay, and this when we play this, it's going to sound something like this here. where it don't cut off on me. Let's try this again. You're not going to do that, is it? Okay, it seems like it wants to cut off the music. You can't see it. But that's all this pretty much is on tab, is understanding what string to play and what fret to play it on. And when you do that, when you play along with the tab, you're going to play the chords along as is indicated up here. And this is the one I downloaded. This doesn't have the G7 and E minor in it, but I can go in and find it and put it in there. This is a typical, let's look and see what is in here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is for the guitar. And if you notice, I got 4 sharps up here. So it's in the key of E. So if we listen to this one, so we can see that not only have we got 3/4 timing, it's in the key of E because it's 4 sharps. And here's the chords up here listed. It's the strumming pattern. We can open up different ones. Let's take the House of the Rising Sun. This is a very simple song. I think everybody knows this one. Now, what we're doing here pretty much in the House of the Rising Sun is what they call arpeggios. Arpeggios are just basically, I'm just making the chord with my left hand, and I'm just playing within the notes of that chord. It's not really a melody line. It's just I'm playing, instead of strumming the whole chord, I'm playing notes of the chord individually. So as you can see, it goes up, then down. Changes chords, up, and then down. That's all you're doing. It's what I call the arpeggios. So a lot of time people say, well, I'll just play by ear. What they don't understand is when you play in the notes of a chord, the phrase is arpeggios. That's all it is. Okay? So whether you're playing by ear or you're playing arpeggios, it's the same thing. Okay? So that's what we're doing here. We're playing one note at a time up within the chord. We're changing chords, playing one note at a time in that chord. So it sounds something like this. But as we can see, the notes here, the tablature here is showing right up here exactly how long to hold it for. So if you really don't know how long to hold a note, look above it and you'll see a quarter. This is an 8th note here because it's got 1 flag. This is 16th note. It's got 2 flags, so it means it's twice as fast. You play 2 16th notes at the same time as you would 1/8. You play 2 1/8 notes, it's the same time it takes to play 1/4 note. Everything's based off the quarter beat. This one's a 6/8 timing, so the 6 beats per measure, and 8th note gets 1 beat. That's all it is. So when you look at that, that's all you determine how many beats per measure and what gets 1 beat. So I want to have the 8th note gets 1 beat. That's all it means. So now we have an understanding on how to read tab, and we could translate it to music by using what I got here, a Power Tab Editor. Or there's another one we have. It's called the TablEdit, which I'm going to pull that up and show you too. So let me first pull this down. And we're going to pull up TablEdit. And let's change this here. And as you can see here, TablEdit works similar to a Power Tab Editor, except with the Power Tab Editor, you see all the instruments on one time. Here, you see whatever instruments you want to pick, the far left or right. In this particular case, it's only got 1 instrument, okay? So this has only got 1 instrument. You can only pick 1 instrument on this particular one here. There's only 1 instrument here. But it's still the same concept. I'm writing the tabs down. It's 5 strings. It means it's 5 lines. It's 5 strings. And we can see where the slide and holding the note comparatively to up here at the sheet music. So this one's going to sound like this. So when you're writing music, or if you're playing music that's somebody else written and they want to download the TEF file, the TEF file goes to TablEdit. The PTB file can be opened either by the TablEdit or by Power Tab Editor, but you cannot open the TEF file with Power Tab Editor. Power Tab Editor is free for Windows. The TableEdit file, which I have up here, you got to pay for, but it works on both Macs and Windows. This just gives you an idea of the song, the notes, how long they hold it for, and you can see the sheet music on top. So if you're playing along with a different instrument, you can also transpose it to a mandolin, you transpose it to the guitar, or whatever instrument you want to pose it to. Hope that helps.